Hi, welcome back to Ace of Pentacles. I was at the park the other day when I saw an interesting interaction. On the monkey bars was a little girl named Shiv. Standing beneath her was a girl named Angie. The mothers of both girls were watching, and suddenly one of them looks over at Angie, standing in the sand, and says, "Hey Angie, see how Shiv is doing it? Do it like that. Then you'll be just like her." The mother looked at Angie as if to suggest being just like Shiv was something worthy of a gold medal. She wasn't wrong. A significant portion of human behavior is learned through observational learning, or imitation. It makes total sense for Angie to look at Shiv, the one who already has the skill that she wanted to develop. So I wasn't upset at the full situation. I was annoyed at a specific statement that was made, and the mother's facial expressions and tone of voice when she said it. She said, "Then you'll be just like her." That was the statement I was annoyed with, because so many of us have heard this. I come from a Pakistani family. I'm a millennial. I can't speak for how children are being raised in South Asian households today, but in my time, this statement was a very common one we'd hear, and let's be honest, many of us still hear it. The intention was not bad. Our parents wanted us to be successful, so they looked around for examples of what success looked like to them. Saba was the nice, modest hijabi, so you had to be like her in that particular way, and then you'd be good. Neha got all the best grades, and if you got the best grades, you'd be smart, just like her. And Aisha was so mannerful. So if you're a bit more mannerful, you'd be just like Aisha, and that would be so good for you. We grew up in comparison culture. And to be fair here, this happened to the boys too. So sitting in that park, watching the scenario, thinking these thoughts, it hit me. This is why we spend the rest of our lives looking at ourselves through the eyes of others. Am I good enough? Am I smart enough? Am I happy enough? Let me look at everyone else to figure that out. Well, I don't have the job title that this other person my age has. That must mean I'm not smart enough, or I didn't work hard enough. I don't have the partner or family that another person my age has, so I must not be good enough. I don't have the nice house or car that this person has, and so I must not be happy enough. There are many ways that we lose our connection to our intuition, our own knowing of what is right for us. And this comparison culture that we grew up in was certainly one of them. What's funny to me is that when we grow up, we make all kinds of decisions that shape our lives. We choose how connected we want to be to religion and culture. We choose how we practice it. We choose what traditions we maintain and which ones we let go of. But we don't let go of the judgment of others and the judgment of ourselves, which is a result of constantly being compared to those around you. If you think about that as a tradition, a belief, a habit that your parents passed on to you, wouldn't you want to let that go immediately? If you're someone who grew up seeing yourself be compared a lot, I encourage you to get curious. Get curious about what success, money, happiness all actually mean for you. If your measures of these don't seem aligned with your own values, I encourage you to think about who gave you those beliefs, who handed you those ideas, and those measuring sticks. You might be running a script in your head that is outdated. It may have served you growing up, being like others, fitting in, doing what everyone else is doing. That was a way to gain love, affection, and recognition from our parents sometimes. But you're a different person now. Your measure of how happy, successful, and satisfied you are with your life is supposed to be defined by you. And it's really hard to not compare ourselves with others like us. But if I told you this, not everyone's life path is the same, you probably wouldn't disagree with me, right? So think about it. If two life paths are not the same, how can the milestones, markers, and timelines of those two life paths be the same? And if this does still happen in our culture, and I'm willing to bet that it does in some homes and some communities, if you're a young person listening to this, every time your parent tells you to be like someone else, just remember that that kid's life is not yours to live. And also remember that someone else's parent is probably pointing at you, telling their kid to be more like you.